This is Real Estate This Week with Stephen Gasque, continuing 16 years on air and online, helping you succeed in buying, selling, and investing in property. The best real estate strategies out there just for you.
Welcome to Real Estate This Week. Hi again, I'm Stephen Gasque, and I'm so glad you're here for our Valentine's Day special. Today, we'll find out how to make your home extra beautiful and extra romantic, because after all, home is where the heart is. Let's talk about it now with Julea Joseph, owner and lead interior designer at Reinventing Space in Chicago. Julea is a professional home stager who's been helping clients make their homes amazing for decades, whether they're selling them or not. Julea, welcome to Real Estate This Week.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to chat today.
I am so glad you're here. And tell me, are you excited about Valentine's Day?
I'm excited about anything that can make your home environment more cozy, warm, and romantic.
Oh, well, that's absolutely wonderful. And so tell me, as a professional interior designer and home stager, what are you doing in your home this Valentine's Day to make it just amazing?
So, I'm going to take a little twist on that, if you don't mind. So rather than one day of the year to make your home romantic and lovely for a holiday, how about if you embrace and romance the home 365 days of the year?
Wow, that's wonderful.
How about that?
I like it.
So my philosophy is to, kind of embrace the environment that you're within. And I think that people kind of forget when they're in their day-to-day busy lifestyles to kind of take a pause and take a moment and really embrace the shelter that keeps us, safe, and a place to sleep and a place to eat, and contains all of these wonderful things and memories and mementos that you have that creates that home environment. So that's kind of what I was kind of thinking when you had this topic, is that why are we just doing it one day of the year?
I see. And that makes perfect sense, Julea. But if we do it one day or 365 days, we still need some really good ideas from a pro like you.
And I am ready. I am ready to give you all sorts of good things.
Okay, so let's get rolling here. Now, if I'm starting with a blank slate, a house that is totally functional but not a bit romantic, what do I do?
You rely on your five senses. So sight, right? So sight is there for you to visually enjoy your home. Scent, right? Texture, taste, to sound. All those senses are in there. And if you think about Valentine's Day, it's a lot about the five senses, right?
Right.
So let's talk about scent as an example. So romantic and homey and cozy and warm type of feeling for me for scent can be anything from like a beautiful bouquet of fresh flowers. It can be other things too. It could be the scent of your favorite smell in the kitchen or your favorite meal being prepared. It could be things that make you feel spa-like lavender or mint or whatever, or eucalyptus. So my idea for a romantic home is smelling and being around the scents that you love. There's nothing better than when you kind of get that first whiff when you put perfume or cologne on or aftershave. There's kind of a neuroscience that kind of reacts that you're like, you can be a woodsy smell or a floral smell. So I always say that your house should feel the same way when it comes to scents. enjoyable, never negative. So those are things that can be really easily placed into a home, and it doesn't have to be a candle.
Oh, Julia, that is wonderful. And I have to admit, I never would have thought of that myself. So I'm glad that you're bringing it to the table on this show. So that covers the scent, the smell. And that's an important part of our five senses. What about others? Now, what about the sights within your home?
Okay, so let's use this as an example. When I was going back to that 365 days of the year, surround yourself with things that mean something to you, that evoke memories or pleasure or love, right? So it could be your favorite piece of art, so don't tuck that away in some distant hall. Put it in a place that you see every single day. It could be where you get dressed every morning, or where you have coffee, or in your office, or in your favorite room that you spend the most time in. It could be family photos or a memento that you receive from somebody, or it could even be something that you recently got on a travel that makes you think back to that wonderful time. Remember, if you're trying to set a mood and be romantic and cozy, or just want to spend a Sunday day that's gloomy outside and kind of bring that soft kind of either sunset or sunrise feel to a room, is think about the light bulbs and the light that is in your environment. And it's very, very simple to, whether it's a dimmer switch, right? Or changing out a lampshade to a lighter or darker one, depending on the mood that you want to set. As well as, we are gifted today with technology. There are so many different types of light bulbs you can get, from the Edison style kind of old filament to light bulbs that look like candles that actually have like a flickering light or a glow to them. So you can set that environment too. And I think that kind of crosses boundaries a little bit on other senses, right? That you can set the mood that way as well.
Right. That is wonderful, Julia.
So sight is something really easy, and sight is really simple too. So you can go back to, it could be beyond like photos or something. It could even be something that makes you think of the other person. And it could be, like I said, if somebody, like, we'll go back to the flowers things, by somebody giving you flowers, even though the scent is wonderful, the visual too, especially this time of year, right, gives you the visual of a different time or happiness, right? Or we're thinking spring, that pretty soon things will be popping up instead of more snow.
And what's really interesting, Julia, is that flowers span two of the senses, smell and sight. And that's really good.
Right. And then we can do taste very simply, right? Taste is super simple for Valentine's Day. And, whether it's chocolate covered strawberries that every good grocery store is going to be like, cranking out pretty soon, or that favorite meal. So taste can be beyond that too. Taste can make you feel something different than what you might be feeling, right?
Right. I mean, the sense of taste is huge, because we have a beautiful dinner, we might have a piece of chocolate, and anything that just makes you happy by tasting it, that's important.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about texture. So texture can create that cozy feeling within a home, right? So if you want to do this 365 days of the year, you take your leather sofa. That's a little, it's comfortable once you sit down, right? And then your body warms up the leather, and, it's a comfy, cozy, it knows your spot in the couch. But, on a cool day, it might be a little chilly when you first sit down on that couch, and a textural throw, right? Or that cozy blanket or a shawl or whatever will kind of change that environment around you. And also like a rug, rather than stepping onto a cold floor or a cold room, something that's textural can change the mood and that sense of touch with it. And that texture too can be transformed, because, one of the things that I thought about is if you did have a start with a blank slate, or say you're traveling, that you're in an Airbnb or a rental property or something like that, a quick trip to the grocery store can supply many of these things that you could buy fresh flowers. You can buy even vegetables and fruit, like a big bowl of lemons, even though they're not cut, will give you the sense of a lemony smell from them.
Oh, that's wonderful. And something else, of course, that's so important when we talk about the five senses is just sound. Tell us about that.
Right. Sound is super easy. That anything from, your from your phone speaker to, old school vinyl, right? That you can, throw on a one of your favorite albums.
That's me. I'm a vinyl guy.
Yep, that's you, right? I'm not sure if you can see me, but that receiver is still sitting back there that we got. That big giant receiver with a giant instruction manual that's big. And in the corners of this room are still those giant speakers. But here's my hack. Okay, so this is like my hack when I was thinking about this, is that on YouTube, they have that ambient, like coffee shop jazz videos. Have you ever seen those?
Right.
That you can just throw them onto your television. It's almost like, doing like, putting a piece of art on your TV. And I use those all the time. Like if I'm working on my laptop and I'm putting together a blog, or I'm returning people's emails, or I'm just, you're just kind of doing stuff. It's like this really great background music if you don't want to get excited about the song, right? That, if you want to get excited about the song, you're going to put on your Neil Diamond's greatest hits, whatever. But the soft jazz music, is just, and then plus when you look up, you feel like you're in Paris at a coffee shop because the AI is so great now too.
Oh my gosh. And speaking of doing that, you can also put up that video of the fireplace.
Yes.
That lasts like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, and one other thing about sound I'd like to bring up is if you play an instrument.
Yes.
What a beautiful way to celebrate.
Yes.
Either on Valentine's Day or every day by playing that instrument. And in today's digital world, when you play an instrument, no one plays it like you do. It's unique. It's only how you do it.
Well, right. And it goes back to that 365 days of the year about, kind of bringing that romance into your home. And, as you're a musician, so what you just settling down in your favorite chair and, playing something acoustic can do to your blood pressure and your mood and your sense, or carrying out a guitar out into by your fire pit or something, and just kind of being
Right.
being with nature and yourself. And I think that we live in such a busy world that we just are bombarded with data all day long. And I think that people just really truly need to kind of stop and truly smell the flowers and just kind of take that break. And, having things that are around you that make you feel joyful, celebrating those five senses. And then then the whole theme of this conversation is being with the people that you love, that whether it is a significant other or your children or your parents or your friends, this is why this holiday exists, right? Is to celebrate our interconnection with each other. And two, if you don't play an instrument, if you're not musically inclined, you could also just have an instrument in your home environment as well. Maybe your father was a great guitarist and your father's gone and you have his guitar there, and that is the same thing. It makes you think, it makes you think of music, but it also is a visual touchstone too, because it makes you think of that loved one.
Excellent. And Julea, one thing I'd like to point out is that your wonderful approach of not just celebrating one day, Valentine's Day, but spreading it out through the entire year. That's also wonderful for people whose loved one might be far, far away, or who might not even have a loved one.
Absolutely. That's a perfect way of thinking about it.
Well, Julea, as you know, when I got in touch with you to talk about Valentine's Day, I was thinking about that one day. But thanks to you and your great approach, we're now looking at the entire year, how to make your home wonderful and filled with love 365 days a year. And Julea, I really want to thank you for that wonderful perspective and all your wonderful ideas.
Thank you so much for having me. And it is a holiday that we can extend throughout the whole year. And then so many of these items are right there in your home as well.
Wonderful. And Julea, have a great Valentine's Day yourself.
As well as to you.
Thank you. Julea Joseph, owner and lead interior designer at Reinventing Space in Chicago. Julea is a professional home stager who's been helping clients make their homes amazing for decades, whether they're selling them or not. Next time on Real Estate This Week, are you selling your house this spring? Well, why wait? Why not sell now when there's hardly any competition? We'll talk to a real estate pro about why selling now is selling smart. That's next on Real Estate This Week. And until then, I'm Stephen Gasque, and thank you for listening.
A brand new episode of Real Estate This Week with Stephen Gasque drops every Thursday, everywhere. And you're invited to listen, subscribe, and follow us. Just look for Real Estate This Week with Stephen Gasque. The best real estate strategies out there, just for you.